Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking about task management in Notion. I'm going to be giving you an overview of my task management template, which is available down below in the comment section if you would like to download it. Now, I just want to make it explicitly clear that I actually don't use Notion for task management anymore. I used it probably for about a month, 2 months, maybe even 3 months. I'm not quite sure. And I switched from Todoist and I went from Todoist to Notion, and I asked myself this question: can Notion replace Todoist? And I think the answer is maybe. I think one of the biggest frustrations for me is there was no solid way to replicate recurring tasks, and adding things to the calendar was a bit clunky, but it can be done, and there's nothing actually wrong with task management in Notion. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed having my notes, projects, and everything together in one space. So let's take a look at this system. Very briefly, the way it works is there are two databases. You have a tasks database, which is over here, and a projects database. Now, it's pretty self-explanatory. If I click on the tasks database, it has all these different tasks. Obviously, they're just called test task. And then you'll see here that I have a DO date, due date, and then a DUE date, due date. And I've used this because oftentimes with tasks, we'll have a due date. We'll know that we have to get the project or the task done by the 20th of February, but we plan to do it at an earlier date. So this just helps me to plan that. I've also got this formula that basically works out how many more days until a task is due. I've added priority. Now, I don't like using numbers because numbers don't actually have any meaning. So I've got a drop everything, do next, do later, icebox. Drop everything basically means you literally drop everything. It needs to be done right this second. Do next means I can do it after the task that I'm doing now. And do later means it's not urgent. I don't need to do it next, but I can do it maybe in 2 weeks, 3 weeks time. And then icebox basically means it's not planned. I've also got a relations thing here that links to the projects database. If we just go back to the task system, just take a look at the project database. The project database just stores our various projects. And if I go into a project, it's very simple, because what I love about Notion is that it's flexible and you can plan out what your project space looks like. Now, every project is going to look different. Just as an example, my fiance and I are busy planning our wedding in Notion, and it's been so grateful for that. So the way this works is I've used a linked database in this project, and it links to the tasks database, and it shows us any tasks for this project, which is great because in the task view, you can add tasks and link it to the project, or you can be in the project and add tasks and it shows in the task view. So let's go back to the task management system. Now, there's something that I stole from Pullien, I believe his name is Pullien. I'm sorry if I've butchered that name, but he has this idea of doing tasks or managing your tasks based on when you're going to do them. And I think that makes so much more sense than on a day-to-day basis managing them by projects. Because think about it, the most stress is caused when you don't know what you're meant to be working on today. So the way this task management system is set out is to basically show me what is due today. And you'll see there's a lot of tasks here, and they all have -21 because these due dates are all gone. So in the action zone, which is today, that's red, that's the first place I'll look at tasks. And I'll complete these things first in any given day. It basically, let's have a look at the filter. It shows me where things are on or before today, or the done is undone, and the due date is on or before. Yeah, so basically it shows me stuff where the due date, the due date, DO date is on or before today, and whether it's undone. So if I go and check one of these, it will disappear immediately. If I want to go revive it or go get it back, I can always go back to the task database. Then next 7 days shows me tasks that are due in the next 7 days. I find this great because when you're done with your tasks for today, sometimes what you want to do is you want to work on the tasks that are due tomorrow or the day after and get a bit of a head start. You're very fortunate if you're in that position. Then next 30 days, pretty self-explanatory. Then in future, I've added tasks that are due over 30 days away. Anything due over 30 days away. And then I've got Planning Center, and Planning Center is really cool. I'm quite proud of it. There's nothing in here, so let's just add a test task. I'm going to call this test task. And basically anything with no due date or DO date is in Planning Center. So where the due date and the due date is empty. What's really cool about this is I can take this calendar and I can take this task and immediately see, okay, next Saturday I have some spare time, and just drag it onto the calendar there, and it disappears out of my Planning Center. So the whole system for me is designed so that I don't feel stressed. I know that I'm doing and getting around to everything that I need to in any given day. So I sit down at my desk at a day, I check the action zone, and then during my weekly review where I plan what I'm going to do for the week, I can go into the Planning Center and assign tasks. Now, typically how I would start tasks is I would start in the project area and then I would go to the task area. So say for example, I have a new project. Let's call this writing blog. And I usually wouldn't make an entire project for writing a blog, even though writing a blog is a project, because a project is any goal or thing that you're working towards with multiple tasks or dependencies. So, sorry, I actually made a mistake here. I'm not even using my own system right. What you want to do is you want to click here and type new project. Then we type blog, and it should bring up the things. I just learned this today, but what it does is it automatically filters by this task, which is really cool. I didn't know it did that, but that's really helpful. So what I can go in and I can do is I can start typing, okay, this project, I am writing a blog about my Notion. There we go. Notion task management system. That's what I'm writing the blog about. So the first thing that I'd probably do in a project like this is do some research. What are other people doing? Cool. And then we can go back to our blog. I'm actually going to open this as a page just for easier navigation. And then let's add what else? Write the blog. So I've just put 4 tasks quickly in this project, and immediately when I click on the task, you'll see that there's no due date and no due date, and because there's no due date or due date, it doesn't tell me how many days are left, but it does show me that it's dependent on this blog. So what I can go do now is I can go back to my task management system. I can go to my Planning Center, for example, and those tasks will show up because they are not planned yet. And then I can say, okay, typically what I would do is do some research. Then I would create an outline. Then maybe after that, I'd do some keyword research. Then I'd write the actual blog. And then there's a whole bunch of other steps after that. But that's typically how I'd handle it. And now if I go to next 7 days, actually it won't show next 7 days, it will be next 30 days. It's just over 7 days away. Okay, I had a bit of a hiccup and I realized that there was a bit of a bug in my system, so I quickly had to fix that. But now when we click on 30 days, it will show me that write a blog, do some keyword research, create an outline, and etc. is all here. You'll also see that it's showing me the ones that are farthest away. If you don't like that, you can just go to the sort, and the most reliable sort would actually be the days left one, and you could do that. So it shows you the ones that are overdue first and then the ones that are farthest away after that. Thank you for watching this video about Notion task management. If you want to download the template, you can do so in the comments below. I've left a link there, and you can just go and duplicate the task management system as a template. I really appreciate you watching this video. It really does mean a lot to me. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you like it and subscribe to the channel? It really does help promote my channel, and because of the way the YouTube algorithm works, it just gets the channel out there more. Thirdly, you can also subscribe to my newsletter, where I post about interesting things I've learned over the week, interesting videos I've found, articles, books, and a whole bunch of other stuff. There is also a link in the description for that. But thank you so much for watching. It's been fantastic. Have a great week further.